right, today we are going to be working with using reaction pathway graphs to distinguish between an exo and endothermic reaction. Don't worry about the correcting thing. I forgot to take that off. We're going to learn about graph stories, and then you'll hand in your daily work. Yes. Yes, if you've got your permission slip, medical form, I need that in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't got it turned in, I do need it in by next time because we're going to be doing a lab. So make sure you get it into me. And it's over a weekend, so that's going to be a little rough. So make sure you don't forget. Yes, set a reminder in your phone if you need to, because I need these next time because we are going to be going into lab. So make sure you got them done. All right, let's go ahead and go on to the next page. I'm hoping my board works. So right now, yes. So the first thing we're going to go through is a few different graph stories, funny graph stories. You're not going to write anything down on your paper for a minute. We're just going to do it up here. So funny graph stories. Cat versus the hotness of a girl. So how many cats versus how hot the girl is. So one cat, probably not. Cat lady, Okay, so we're going to make a graph that we can decide. Here's another cat lady. Hotness of the girl versus how many cats. So what would you call a graph that we did hotness of a... What would you put on what axes? Let's do that first. Would you want hotness on the y-axis or on the x-axis? Would you like cats here? Where would you like stuff? Let's do that first. What on the bottom? Hotness on the bottom. Does everybody agree with that one?
I was thinking probably cats, because doesn't the amount of cats she has determine how hot she is?
What do you think? Remember that the x-axis is what we're changing, and because of what we're changing, the y-axis is affected. Put the cats on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to put cats on the bottom here. Okay, and we'll start with, I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We keep going. Okay, so hotness on this side. Hotness. Okay, so how are we going to rate hotness? Up to 10? So 0 to 10? It could, well, usually people rate people on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, she's a 10, right? Or she's 9 or an 8. How attractive the girl is what we're looking at. Okay? I know it's really weird, but it'll stick in your head. So the cats, we're saying, affect how hot the girl is, how many cats she has. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I'm going to have you come draw what you think the graph would be on. And then, don't think you're going to be the only one. So you come up here and draw what you think the graph is going to be. I'll have you come draw what you think the graph's going to be.
Draw like a line?
Yeah, draw a line however you want to. Yeah, bar graph or whatever. What?
Can I resign?
Nope. No resigning.
This is my graph.
Oh, they're hot. They're hot if they got 8 cats.
Hang on. How do I do that? I was like, this man's whack. Let me just start in this corner. You know what? I'm going to make it an interesting graph.
Okay, now you make it an interesting graph. Go for it.
Interesting?
Sure, you do. You decide how you want to do it.
You know what? I need to plan this out.
Oh, we'll get that too. Oh, you want to do one too? Sure, come on up. I've got 3 different colors, so we can do 3 different colors. Okay, go ahead and set it there. Okay, we got one more.
She's about to sell all cats. And then with like 2 cats or 3 cats, she's like up here. And then it just goes down from there.
All right. So we've got a couple different views on how we could possibly put this together. So looking at what we graphed, what would you name this graph if you had to give it a title?
Cats and beauty.
Oh, cats and beauty. Okay, there's one. Okay, anybody have another one that might work there? Beauty and the Beast. I love it. Okay. All right. So usually what we do before we title a graph is we actually draw the graph because we want to know what it's telling. And then the title needs to actually tell what we're going to see, right? Okay, let's do another one. Whoops, there's that cat. Poor cat, see? Bye-bye, crazy cat lady. All right, so let's do another one. This one's a little bit different, okay? Mental health versus the amount, 1 through 32. We can have two different lines for two different kinds of things going on that are not related. But we're going to have two lines versus the number of cats and the mental health, number of cats and number of teeth. So, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So, we had number of cats on the bottom. We could also do number of teeth, right? So we have 32 teeth. So if we do 1 through 32 on the bottom for cats, I'll do that. And teeth, we'll do blue. And we go 0 to 32. Now if you have 32 cats, So what are we going up on the side? So mental health, how are we going to rate that? So, but how are we going to actually do numbers? I've got to fix my board real quick. It's not. So how are we going to rate it though? How are we going to put it on a graph?
So you got to do numbers, right?
Well, we could do.
If you're literally in an asylum, that's 10.
Okay, so 10 is totally crazy.
Like you should not be exposed to other people.
Locked up. Okay, locked up. Okay. And the bottom here, 0 would be what?
You don't have emotions.
Yes?
So as she gains cats, she also loses teeth.
I don't know. We've got to come. We're going to have two graphs on here, two different color graphs. So we're going to see what happens when they come together. Okay, so what did we decide here? You said boring, but
Mentally stable.
okay, stable. So most of us are somewhere here in the middle, right? Okay, so now, now I'm going to ask one girl and one guy to come up, and I'm going to give you either teeth or cats. You want to be cats? Okay, you are cats. That means, will you be teeth? Tell me your name. Susie, okay. I'm trying to learn my new ones.
What if 32 cats? You're crazy. And that's going to stay up here until like 20. And then it goes like this.
Okay, now teeth. So 32, you have all your teeth. Oh, no, missing. We're doing missing? I think we're doing missing teeth. So 32 missing teeth. In other words, you have no teeth. You're all gums. Or 0, you're not missing any teeth. I think this guy's awesome. Doesn't he look awesome?
I don't have all my teeth.
Okay, so this one's a little bit harder. I gave her a hard one. Sorry. So no teeth would be the 32. They've lost all their teeth. So that would be totally stable or crazy. It could be a baby too. Baby doesn't have any teeth. Babies are crazy too. All right. Okay. Totally locked up if we've got all our teeth. Got it. Okay. Okay. So supposedly where these two cross, right, is where we're supposed to be the best, right?
Most people are 8 when a 10 is you are literally locked up.
Yeah, locked up and crazy.
Can you exceed that number?
All right. So there's different ways we could have done this. Is this graph correct for everybody's thinking? No. Everybody has a little bit different thoughts. So every time we do a lab, is it going to be exactly the same when we get a graph? No. So everybody's going to be a little bit off. Okay. How would we name this graph? How would we name this graph?
Psycho and cats.
Psycho and cats. Okay. So yeah, we got to sort of get the teeth in there too. So.
Toothless psycho cat lady.
Okay. What about guys? Guys can have cats too. It's not just ladies.
Well, if you're a guy and you have 32 cats, I'm sorry, but I'm calling you a crazy cat lady.
All right. So let's see if we got another one up here. Whoops. I think I went backwards. I did. Okay. So now we got another one. Okay, time versus the urge. Two different lines. We're going to have two different lines. The need to sneeze and the need to pee. Okay? So, what are we going to do where? We both sneeze. So over here is probably going to be our effect, right? So really high need and very low. Okay, and what are we going to put across the bottom? Time. Good. Time. So here's 0 to whenever. Okay, I'm going to give two different people. Let's see. Need to pee, you're going to be, that's a red. And need to sneeze, we'll make it green because that's sort of gross. Okay, everybody does it, but let's see.
I really want to do the need to pee one.
Have you been up here all right, though?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, need to pee. I need another one, need to sneeze. Okay. And you are going to make sure you push the right button. So you're red, so push the red button. There you go.
Right, so it starts to go up, and then there's like a brief moment where it just kind of like goes down. I don't know why, and then just like rocks back up.
Okay.
So when you need to sneeze, you just gotta sneeze. So it's like that. Oh, and then it just goes away. So I mean, I guess then it's just like.
But what if you have the urge right away? But there are also some times where like it goes
Oh,
up
yeah,
and then you
that
don't,
is true.
and then you don't sneeze it. And
This is a hard one.
So sometimes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes
it might be like this.
it's like all the way up here, but then you can't sneeze.
But what if you like
Okay.
sneezing?
All right, so what happens at the intersections here?
The urge you see.
Right? Okay. What would we call this one? What would be a good graph for this one, or name for this graph?
Gotta do it.
Need for sneeze.
Gotta go?
Need for sneeze.
Need for sneeze?
Gotta blast.
Gotta blast. All right, so you would have to come up with an idea here. Okay. So, where they meet, we have a disaster. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about, they have 3 that you get to do, all by yourself. So I want you to do what we were doing for these 3, and then we're going to collaborate. We're going to talk to your neighbor and see what they did. So don't look at theirs. Do it all by yourself. And there's no wrong or right. I want you to figure it out. If there's a need for 2 graphs or 2 lines on a graph, you need to give me a color code. You got colored pencils? So give me a color code. Okay? You got yours? Yeah? Okay. I want you to put numbers. Tell me how you're going to measure it on each one. No, just like I did, you know. I put one in just so I know how you're going to do it. And then give each one of them a title. I'll just sort of watch until you guys, most of you are done. And we'll come back together. Got to have it all the way down before you share. You have to have everything labeled. Everything labeled before you share. Don't let your person that you're going to be sharing with know. Come up with a title. Make sure you label the X and Y axes. Include some kind of scale. A key if needed if you have 2 graphs on one. Okay, about another couple minutes, we'll come back together. Okay, last minute. Finish it up. Wrong way. Okay, who is proud of their graph for mood of the day? Mood, day versus mood. Huh? Who would like to share theirs? You come up, Devin? Okay, come up and show your graph story.
Do I need to explain it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So put it up here.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so they can see it.
All right.
All right.
So basically, that's like 1 a.m., right? So you start off, and it's like, your mood sucks because it's 1 a.m. And it slowly gets a little better, and then it gets like, starts going up, and you reach your peak. I don't know, that's probably around like noon or so. And then it goes down a little bit, you plateau for a minute, and then it goes way down in the evening. And then it's like, you go way back up, and then you go to sleep.
All right, thanks, Devin. Okay, anybody else got one that they'd like to share? A little bit different. How did you think of the day? Okay, come on up. Like I said, there's no right or wrong. This is all...
Alright, so you start off like pretty good, and then about here, school starts, and it goes like way down. Then it just kind of stays at the bottom, and then when school ends, it gets better, and then you go to sleep.
Wow. Okay, he's a sad person at school, I guess.
Not wrong.
Okay,
That's also my favorite.
that was your paper. Okay, do I have another one that's maybe even different that you'd like to share? No? Okay, so let's go to the next one, which is the number of kids versus the cleanliness of the house. This is all on perspective. Okay, come on up. Share yours.
This one? Yeah, this one. Okay, so basically, it's like you start out with no kids and your house just stays clean because, you know, like, how is it going to get messy? Unless you make it a mess, obviously. But then you get, like, 2 kids and it stays somewhat clean because, like, parents seem to make their kids clean their whole house all the time. And then, like, after, like, 2 or 3 kids, it just skyrockets, so...
Okay, that's one opinion. Let's see. Does anybody have a different opinion? Angel, come on up. Come share. Kind of similar. It's okay. We have different opinions.
All right, so basically, if you have no kids, your house is very clean. And when you get to the point of 19 children, your house is disgusting.
19. Oh, bless your mother. Okay, do we have any others that have maybe a different view? No others? Okay, so let's go to the next one. See, I would have it done it a little bit different here because with none, it's probably pretty clean. With 1, you're probably still a psycho mom and keeping things really clean. 2, gets a little bit dirtier. 3, you're starting to lose it. And 4, you've now got it back under control so it gets clean again because now you got older kids that can help you clean. And it goes back down as you get more because the older kids help clean. Does that make sense? Yes. There's different perspective. It just depends. Okay, so let's do this one. Time in the car of a person who gets motion sickness versus the urge to throw up. Okay, who has one to show? Jocelyn? Come show yours.
I haven't grabbed my second line.
Okay, that's all right. Bailey, do you have one? Come show us yours. That's okay. It doesn't have to be beautiful. So you have to probably push it up far. Okay, so explain it.
Okay, so you start to feel it, but you don't notice anything about it. Like you don't really want to throw up yet, but you can feel it. And then as you keep going, you just keep wanting to throw up.
Okay, does anybody have any different ones? Anyone else that would like to share? Okay, come on up. She doesn't want to be left alone.
Okay, so... Can you see it? Oh, you can barely see the green. Okay. So, the green is a person who gets motion sickness. See, they could, start getting motion sick. And then, it just skyrockets where they just can't function. And then it goes down because I think they're okay. And then... yeah, I don't know. And then the pink one is for someone who, throws up and you just, feel it. And then it's just oh, okay. And then you really get the urge to puke, and then you puke, and then you're okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so depending on your point of view, depending on the history that you have, depends on what kind of graph you drew, right? What your experience is. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next part right here. We have graphs that we use in chemistry all the time. This is known as an activation or a thermic graph. There are different parts. We always start with our reactants, and the reaction progress is time. And this is our potential energy on the top, or on the y-axis. As we go through here, this point from here to the top of the curve, wherever it is known as E of A. E of A is our activation energy, how much energy we have to get in to get the reaction going. Otherwise, if I'm a matchmaker, I've got to get the two people together in order to get them to matchmake, right? Okay? The difference between my products and my reactants is known as delta H. That's my change in enthalpy, or my change in heat. And it tells me how much I'm either going to gain or lose. If my reactants are lower than my products, I've had to keep energy in, and I end up higher, so I've had to put heat in, and it stays in. So that is an endothermic. This graph right here is endothermic. This graph right here, where the products are lower than the reactants, this one is exothermic. Okay? There are several things that we need to be able to label and be able to get off a graph. The reaction potential of the reactants is just the distance, whatever that number is right there. The distance between here, products, and the top of the curve is known as E of A prime. That just means how much energy is it going to take to go backwards if I want to go backwards. And then this section right here at the very top, that's known as the activated complex. Activated, I cannot spell today, complex. That's the transition point. Okay? It's like pushing a ball up the hill, and before I can get it to go down the other side, it's that point at which it's not going forward or backward. Okay? You should be able to take and read off the energy of the products, which is the total reaction energy of the products, the reaction energy of the reactants, the activation energy you have to take and subtract, the activation energy of the reverse reaction, and be able to tell me what do I have to get up to get to my activated complex. So it's just reading the graph. A lot of graph reading comes with our ACT too. So as we go forward, by the way, this right here would be a positive delta H because I have to put energy in. This right here would be a negative delta H because energy is given off. Okay, we all right to go forward? All right, when I have a catalyst or a matchmaker, think of it as dating here in America to try and find a date. You take out lots and lots of girls or go out on dates with lots of boys. There's a lot of expense involved and it takes a lot of money. But you finally find the one, right, at the activation top. And then you're able to go and produce a wedding and get married and happily ever after, whatever. When a catalyst comes, or matchmaker, they get the two things together. So instead of going on all these thousands of dates, they say, oh, you and you're a match, and you go together. Done. So they lower this activation energy, but end up with the same product. So when I have a catalyst, that catalyst does lower the activation energy, and the activation energy of the catalyst becomes a lot smaller than the activation energy without a catalyst. Okay? This reaction progress as we go from the left to the right is known as the reaction pathway as I follow the graph. So as I follow the graph, that's my reaction pathway. I can still get everything on this that I had before. The potential energy of the reactants is just what does it read right there at my reactants. Potential energy of my products, how much does it read at my products, okay? The change in those two is delta H. Is delta H here going to be positive or negative? Negative. Good, because it's lower, it's going to be negative. Whoops, let's try that back again. So I'll have go back again. A negative delta H, and I lost all my stuff before. Lovely. I can also identify my activated complex. I can identify the total reaction activation. Whoops, try that again. Total activation reactant energy that I needed. And then if I had my catalyst back in here again, I could do the E of A with the catalyst. I can find the E of A prime, which is going backwards, and the E of A prime with the catalyst going backwards. So there's lots of things that I can find and be able to tell where I'm at and where I'm going. Okay, don't forget, and this would be the potential energy of the reactants, and this would be the potential energy of the products. See if I've missed anything. So if I were to label a graph, I would do all of that. Okay? So this is what? An endo or exothermic graph? Exo, because products end up lower than the reactants. Okay, so let's do another one where we are given stuff and we have to, love that, how it stays. Okay, so we're going to answer the questions. We're here given a graph and say, okay, what is the enthalpy of the reactants? They're asking what is the potential energy of the reactants. So that is right here. This is my potential energy or the enthalpy of my reactants. So what would I put for the answer? 20, and I would also put the units. So it would be 20 kilojoules per mole. So I need to make sure I put the units on there. What would be the enthalpy of the products? Well, here's my products, right? Okay, so it'd be 50 kilojoules per mole. And I could label this as products. I could label this as reactants. Okay, the next question. What is delta H? Good. How'd you get that? The 50 minus the 20, right? That's my delta H. Will it be positive or negative? Positive. So when we write delta H, we're always going to put the positive or the negative in front, and we'll say 30 kilojoules per mole. Okay, is this graph endo or exothermic? Endo, because my products end up higher, so it is endothermic. I'm going to add an E here. What is the energy of activation? Oh, E of A. That's where my activated complex is, but that's not my activation energy. I go from here, which was my reactants, all the way up to the top. That's my E of A. So what is the number for that? 80. So my E of A, and my board does not write very well down here in the corner, so 80 kilojoules per mole. Okay, so you need to be able to read that kind of stuff. We also need to be able to make one. The nice thing about making one is they would give you this kind of stuff over here and not give you the graph, and you could draw the graph. So if the potential energy of the reactant is 20, I draw a line at 20. If the activated complex or the activation energy is 80, I go up 80 from there and put a dot, and then I find out where my products are. I can do that by delta H or be given it. Put a line there and just do a curve. Okay? All right, so now it's time for practice. Okay? You get to practice. I believe you've got a couple graphs to do. Let's see. So you're going to label everything on the graphs, these two graphs on this page, as you go through. Let me bring it up. I can't right there. Okay, as you go through, make sure you label everything like I did on the last one. And then if you go on the next page, there's a few more potential energy questions, and then you're done. So we are early today, and that'll give you enough time to go back and redo the quiz and any other quiz that you need to. Here is a little reminder. On your Nearpods that we did the first day, a lot of you didn't do the Nearpod correctly. You either skipped over the video or you didn't circle the things that you were supposed to in the video in the Nearpod itself correctly. So you got less than 4. Okay? If you got less than 4, redo it. Okay? If you got less than 10 on your safety test, redo that one. So you have a chance to really keep your grade up high. Okay? So we've got a good half hour. Easily get this done, put it back up. I'll put the iPads over here so you can use them to put your daily work up. Okay? Questions? Right? If you need help, let me know.